Welcome back to yet another exciting show of the Branding Banter, your promo podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Hidware USA.
And I'm Meg Erber, Director of Sales at Performa.
Stephen McFadden with TSC.
Sarah Goshgarian Unruh, National Sales Manager at Stalls.
Awesome.
Hey,
We're getting so efficient. How are we doing today, guys? Let me put this timer on. You got to bear with me. I'm in the car. Using multiple devices, got the phone and the laptop going, and I'm used to working with like 3 screens and a mouse and all that good stuff. So this is a lot more interesting and
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Oh, good.
We'll see. Yes.
For Jeff, where are you?
Violin. I am in a parking lot just outside of Baltimore. I've got an event to get to in about a half an hour. So as soon as this wraps up, I've got a little bit more to go, and then I'll be at that event. So that's where I'm at.
Better question, Sarah, where are you?
Where in the world is
I know. Where is Sarah now? I'm in Nashville, so I'm back in the U.S. I'm in Nashville.
I just got back from Nashville.
Hi, there you go. Like high-fived you on your way through.
Yeah.
Heading down to Chattanooga and then back up to Nashville then tomorrow. Yeah. Wait, this way. Yeah.
We don't know.
It's hard to do.
Yeah. This way. We got it.
Steven,
Yep.
Hey,
what's up? What's going on?
I'm in North Carolina today.
North
That's-
Kakalaki.
That's where I live. and work. So It is nice to be home.
And I see you've taken over the bedroom. I see you've taken over the bedroom role, Steven.
This is not the bedroom. This is.
Why does it look like a bed? That looks like a headboard.
What? No, it's a full wall.
It does. It's pretty. I know how much work that is because I have that. I'm going to do that in my downstairs
It's called
kitchen.
fretwork. I'd highly recommend looking it up because I did it before we moved into the house. It was a lot of work, a lot of fun. Looks nice.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, it looks nice. Don't take insult. It is not an insult. So yeah.
That's all.
Anyhow, this episode is brought to you by our good friends over at Alpha Broder. They're America's leading supplier of wholesale apparel, promotional products, and imprintable goods. Alpha Broder products build brands, champion causes, acknowledge achievements, and offer limitless solutions. They carry more than 6,500 styles from over 60 brands of classic and trending products like wholesale t-shirts, fleece, drinkware, bags, journals, and more. Alpha Broder is empowering their customers to brand the world through market-leading service, products, and solutions. Be sure to check them out at alphabroder.com. And tell them that Branding Banter sent you. We've got a fun and exciting episode today. We're going to try to, vary it up a little bit, although there are some similarities to maybe some previous episodes. But I think we're going a little bit of a different direction here. We're going to talk about 3 different companies today that are, really killing it with promo and some of the different things that they're doing in promo and how it relates to us sort of on an everyday in everyday life. So does anybody want to kick it off? I mean, do we just want to go straight into the 3 and then diverge, or what do we want to do?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you want me to kick it off, Meg, or you want to?
Yeah, go ahead.
So there was an article by Good Things Co. And it spoke about 3 top brands and companies inside of, I guess, the world. I don't know. Apple, Coca Cola, and Microsoft. And what they did was they looked at their market share and size of their companies, which are like crazy and just in general. But then they were talking about how those brands have pushed new markets into the promotional space, as well as they have used promo products themselves in their merchandising and some of their collateral. So we probably, I guess, take it in order, and we can kind of talk about a little bit of how those have each influenced the industry, as well as some of the examples that we've seen in merchandising. And the first example they gave was Apple. And Apple, according to the article, was going to surpass $3 trillion in U.S. market value and over 385.095 billion USD in revenue. And so then it kind of talked about, well, what does that mean for the promo industry? So I'll stop there and we kind of discuss that one and take it away.
Well, I think, excuse me, when Apple, they had their Creativity Goes On campaign, right? And that's when they used promotional merchandise. And I think they launched it during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the campaign was inspired It was aimed to inspire and reassure audiences that creativity persists even through challenging times. I don't know if you guys, and I know I read somewhere that like their biggest promo items are in their accessories, right? I guess that's where they're branching out. Phone cases, I don't know, cords even, because I know that was really big in our industry, and I think one time all those Apple chargers were banned for a while, right?
Yeah, I'm
Apple,
glad you brought that up because that was one of the things I was going to ask you guys about was like, because obviously we want to talk about what that means for the promo industry. And I remember that. That wasn't that long ago
yeah.
where I feel like all the lightning chargers or lightning cables were sort of banned because of the patent or something.
Yeah, they
Do you
had
guys
different
know
prongs
anything?
on one side versus the other side, and then single-sided lightning cables to get around it. And then UL approval became a big thing inside
Yep.
the promo industry. And so once that happened, then you started seeing UL approved lightning cables coming in. So, but it is interesting that is a product line pushed by another industry and another company that forced that product into our space, which I think is what's so interesting about these big brands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think is interesting that Apple really hasn't done is that, you have the ability, right, to label or, name, basically have engraving done on like your AirPods case or something like that. But from like a decorating perspective inside of our industry, now we're turning to other companies in order to help brand the AirPod cases, the AirTags, those cases, your phone cases, your iPads, everything else, because Apple really hasn't taken that on themselves.
Interesting. Does it do anything to the warranty? I mean, I know when I used to work at Jetline, Eric would say that, as long as he had a sample of something, they could make a mold out of it to pad print it. So I feel like you could really pad print anything, but I don't know if Apple was worried about the concern about the warranty on the product because they're tech products. I'm not sure.
It makes it hard to make your AirPods machine washable,
Yeah.
That's for sure. But the sticker technology of where we are now, like it makes it easier to brand just about anything, which is fantastic.
Sarah, does Stolz offer anything that would be able that you could like? So if I wanted to do AirPods for my company retreat, right, and I bought them from Apple and wanted to do some type of transfer, is that something that I would be able to get at Stolz?
Yep, there's a sticker, and then there's also now patches and emblems that have a 3M adhesive that you could apply to just about anything from a hard goods perspective.
And
even
those are the kind that
like
don't
a 3D embroidery,
right?
Correct? Like
you
can't take them off. So even on your Stanleys, like like you could wash them, dishwasher safe, everything else.
No, I think that's really interesting because that adds a whole level of, what was not a promotional product now is. We have those capabilities in our industry to turn things that, maybe weren't, top of the list, or maybe they were too expensive to bring into this industry, and now the ability of the DTF and the transfers that makes it more feasible.
Yeah. If you are okay, because I was looking at the three companies that they were talking about, unless we wanted to add any more emphasis on Apple. But the third company was very interesting because I think we talked about a little bit pre-show in Microsoft, because it opens up a whole nother segment of we've actually talked about like streamer merch. We've talked about things like that, but Microsoft has done a lot in this space as well. So let's maybe jump into that one just for a hot second.
Sure.
Go
well,
for it.
I know VJ actually used to work for Microsoft, and I remember he used to go to these conferences. So I feel like that's on a whole other level, right? Like they're doing everything. They're not just doing accessories and tech products. They're doing, when it comes to promo, I'm seeing bags, jackets, shirts. You name it, the full throttle end of it, of all promo. So what is their purpose? Are they doing it just for brand recognition? Are they doing it to grow their audience? What do you guys think?
Well, I think that, and like related to the article, I think they were specifically talking about Xbox and that segment of Microsoft, related to gaming and all the different gaming accessories and stuff like that. And I kind of, when I first heard that, it kind of got me excited because I know that, there's a ton of our product in the gaming industry, but I actually don't, even from the supplier standpoint, don't see a ton of distributors sort of coming, from left, right, and center, like you do with all these other companies, specifically related to games. And I don't know if that's because the gaming industry is so diverse and segmented, because you got all the different gaming developers, then you've got all of the actual publishers as well, and then obviously the big companies that are doing console and things like that. So there's a lot of different places that you could go. So maybe our industry just doesn't know enough about it. But when you pre-order a video game, for instance, a lot of times there's some type of physical pre-order merchandise that you get for pre-ordering said game. Whether it's a hat, a sticker, a button, a lanyard. I've seen a ton of our industry's product. It's obviously very, very large quantities, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pieces, or potentially even more, could be into the millions, depending on the game. But it's just such a huge segment that I just don't see enough of coming through our space. And I don't know, Stephen, if you've seen anything, or if Sarah or Meg, if you've seen any of it. I mean, obviously it's there.
Yeah. So,
sorry, go ahead. Oh no, I was thinking. So when we think about the case studies, right, of what they're doing and how they're using the promo, who are the people that are buying this promo, right? If it is for the gaming or the tech company, I guess that's a specific genre. But like, if you're just the average promo distributor, right, and you want to sell these items, like, who are you selling them to? Who's buying them?
Your retailers, right? So then it's like your Walmarts, your Targets, like that's where they're going into, because then from a consumer basis, that's where you're buying them from, right? So you're buying them into the big box stores. So I know BDA does a lot with, that kind of segment, but outside of that, I don't really know anybody else from a distributor standpoint who really touches that market.
There's a couple markets in particular to think about, and there's kind of two segments, as Jeff alluded to. One is all the way at the top, the actual Microsoft branding, which would be Xbox branding, which is their brand and their launches for new things. Now, when you get into the specific game side, you're going to have the developers, the marketing agencies, those that create the commercials and the collateral and the setups at the GameStops and the Targets and the Walmarts and all the point of sale. Then there's an entirely separate segment that, again, has pushed more merchandise into the industry, which I think we always talk about a lot, where it's expanding the promotional pie, right? Where more businesses come in because there's new ways of purchasing and new people that are buying it and selling it. And that has been a lot in the pop-up and online space for gamers and streamers, and we talked a little bit about streamer merch. And so those platforms and those consoles have given, such a boost, and especially having a good game or having a good platform, have given them more content to create and more things that they can sell and things that kind of mimic or imitate some of the game designs or whatnot. So that's a very interesting kind of parallel to Microsoft, right? There's different levels of sales for sure between the two, but I imagine if you added them all up, they're going to be fairly similar. I mean, maybe I'm way off there, but based on the data we found with all the streamer merch before. But even in this example, like the Good Things article, there's just a still frame picture of, it's like 12 different pieces of collateral just stacked up, all with Xbox branding, between mug and headphones and headwear, and I think it was like a little case and a wallet and all these different accessories. So
yeah, I mean, Xbox and Sony, for that matter. I mean, they would be, and Nintendo. They would be the big three that in the console market, particularly. I mean, they do a ton of different shows where they're exhibiting. CES and used to be E3, but a bunch of those kinds of shows, PAX East, PAX West. And, they're going to be giving out merchandise for all of that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, there would be an absolute ton of Xbox specifically branded stuff. But I thought it was interesting just to sort of branch out and talk about the whole gaming industry there, because there's a lot of that.
One more note. So my shameless plug, my brother-in-law works at Epic, and so they get a lot of developer merch and things inside of the developer side. So you see like pins and stickers and apparel pieces always being circulated with new launches and new things like that. So I thought that was neat. He would to see how they do and how they celebrate their new games and all their new stuff.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. Very
All right.
cool.
And then the third was Coca Cola. Do you either one of you want to sort of challenge or tackle that?
So what was really fun, I'm going to add really quick on one of my flights. I feel like I've been on too many lately. I ordered a can of Coke Zero, and on my can, I got one of the Avengers cans. So there was like the Hulk was on my Coke can. And so I was like, oh, this is so cool. So we kind of had talked, I think, on one of our other episodes about like finding our names in the past on like Coke. But this was like, it could be like a collectible item, right? For people who are really into the Avengers and ways that they're promoting new movies that are coming out. I don't even know what's coming out, but I instantly like made notice of the Hulk on my can of Coke. So
that's
pretty
cool. Yeah, it was their Share a Coke campaign, and right, that was what that was. And you had it was that, or that different?
Yeah.
That's the name section. I said it out loud. I'm like, oh, is that even the same one? But yeah, no, they had their Share the Coke campaign. Yeah, it was the personalized bottles with people's names. And what that did was it drove people to want to buy that Coke can, right? So when you're at the souvenir shop and you're looking for the keychain with your name on it, it's that, there's never, I always felt bad for the children with the odd spelling names, which happens to be my children for the most part.
Meg Erber.
Very often see a Kaylee, Kaely. So poor Kaylee will never have her keychain or her Coke can, but I still love her.
Right. Stephen, do you have the article pulled up?
I do.
Still? So I think the article specifically was talking about like the Coke bottle shaped glasses or something like that, right?
Yeah. So they did
Coke's done a lot.
They did a collector's campaign very similar to what Sarah was referencing, where they very much like that, but it was a glassware, and it's utilizing that old Coca Cola shape, and then they did it in 6 different colors for people to take home and to collect, and so it created this buzz. And actually reading it, it reminded me of something not related, but also is very similar because it's about soda and the different big brands and how they've launched different campaigns. Do you remember when Mountain Dew did all the points on the cap? And
you could trade it in for merch.
An entire points for merch campaign. I remember being in Dowdy Ficklin Stadium at East Carolina, and people were running around after the game was over because it's a Pepsi school and collecting all the tops from all the bottles around and then entering in all the points. And we would go in and we'd redeem merch for NFL hats and all sorts of different Mountain Dew merchandise. So it's pretty neat to see how that
is
drove.
I haven't seen one of those kind of campaigns in a minute, and I feel like I miss those. Am I the only one that misses those?
No, they're like what happened to Monopoly and McDonald's?
Yeah, I know.
I think Starbucks does one every once in a while, but it's all like app driven. And here's like, you have to go like log into a different thing, but Starbucks does do one. And I can't remember what the name of it is.
I remember as a kid, because back when, a long time ago, my dad used to smoke cigarettes, and he was a Marlboro guy. And I remember looking through the Marlboro catalog and always seeing all the different products that you could get if you took the side of the freaking Marlboro boxes, and you'd get your points. And then Pepsi used to do them back in the day as well. There was a little Pepsi catalog that you could get, and you could redeem those. I miss that kind of stuff. I think it's cool. Now, maybe a kid shouldn't be walking around with a Marlboro T-shirt, but
there's a little regulation on that now. But
I guess from that standpoint, I've kind of been in promo my whole life. I've always loved the different products that our industry provides.
Okay, Starbucks has one going on right now. So it's called Starbucks Dream Days. It's their summer game, and so you can sign in and play if you want. So
I'm
there
going
you go.
to. I have the app. I love it because
get you back to your kid days, Jeff. There you go.
There you go. The only problem with that is then you've got to buy Starbucks. Wow.
I love Starbucks. I'm a Starbucks scrappy girl.
All right. Anything else to add, guys, before we wrap it up?
No, that's
If
it.
you haven't been to the Coca Cola Museum in Atlanta, you should, because it's amazing and it tells their story and it's really cool. I'll just add
Oh,
that.
I should do that. I'm in Atlanta fairly often. I'll have to
There
check
you
that
go.
out. All right, well, this episode is brought to you by Alpha Broder. They're America's leading supplier of wholesale apparel, promotional products, and imprintable goods. Alpha Broder's products build brands, champion causes, acknowledge achievements, and offer limitless solutions. They carry more than 6,500 styles from over 60 brands of classic and trending products like wholesale T-shirts, fleece, drinkware, bags, journals, and more. Alpha Broder is empowering their customers to brand the world through market-leading service, products, and solutions. Be sure to check them out at alphabroder.com and tell them that we sent you, Branding Banter, the good goods over here. But anyhow, guys, until next time, hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.